In the electrical world of charge point operators, CPOs, the companies that actually build and run the public chargers we all use, getting power from the utility is often the hardest part of the job. Why? Often all they get is, but here in Florida, there are two recent rate case settlements that show just how different and hard that fight can be. A group of charge point operators and fuel retailers brought complaint to the Florida Public Service Commission against Duke Energy and Florida Power and Light. Duke Energy came out of its rate case with a make-ready program and tighter limits on how far it could expand its own charging network. Florida Power and Light had a different settlement, and it went further. FPL agreed to stop building new public fast chargers, cap its existing FPL Evolution network to 585 ports, and raise the price of those stations from 30 cents to 45 cents per kilowatt hour. And now the result is private operators face two very different utilities. And that difference shows up at the charger when you plug in. Now, I've gone to 3 sites here in Central Florida that make these changes clear. And it turns out to be a case of be careful what you ask for, you might just get it. So let's look at these stations. Let's look at Lake Mary's Electrify America station, then the Sanford Walmart station, which has been under construction and actually ready to run since February, but still sitting unpowered, and a new Tesla Supercharger in the Sanford area at a Cracker Barrel that has just finished installation and is waiting a transformer and power delivery. Let's first go to the Lake Mary Target.
Okay, guys, here you can see the chargers behind me over my shoulder here, right in front of a Target. This is some of the switch gear right here. And there are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 chargers that are supported by this transformer and this power meter. Let's walk over here and see who this power meter belongs to. This power meter is part of Duke Energy. That explains why these guys got their transformer and power turned on so quickly. This is a 2500 kVA transformer, so it can support a lot more chargers than are sitting over there right now. This Electrify America station is operational and it is running just fine.
Ground broke in June of 2025 at the Lake Mary Target, and it opened on September 19th, 2025, under 100 days from groundbreaking to passing electrons. Now let's talk about the Sanford Walmart and the Walmart EV chargers. Ground broke on that in December of 2025, and construction was completely finished by February of 2025. It's set waiting on a transformer and power to be delivered until June of 2025, when the transformer and the meter pole was installed, but there's still no meter tying it to the grid. Let's go take a look at that.
Okay, guys, we are at Walmart Supercenter in Sanford, Florida. As you can see, there are 4 ABB 400 units installed here. These have been in the ground since February. All the switch gear has been here since February. The transformer came in back in June, and as you can see right there on this power pole, there is no power to this site. FPL, Florida Power and Light, is the electrical provider. Let me explain it to you like this. There is something going on between FPL, Florida Power and Light, and Walmart. This is not a cheap endeavor. And I'm telling you right now, There's more to this than meets the eye.
Let's go to the Cracker Barrel in Sanford, just off of I-4.
Okay, guys, we are at the Cracker Barrel. I-4 is literally just right behind those trees. You can see the cars through the trees right over there beside Cracker Barrel. But this Cracker Barrel has 12 stalls. It's Tesla. It'll be up and running probably very soon. It's all going to be dependent on how FPL does on their delivery of a power meter here. Of course, this place also still needs a transformer, but my guess is the transformer will be here within the next 10 days or so. Everything else is in the ground. They're cleaning up the site right now. They're taking the fence down. This station should be up and running by August, depending on how Florida Power and Light treats their customer this time. Let's get back into the studio and talk more about this.
12 stalls installed. It went from bare ground to what you see in the latest picture in the video in less than 60 days. Now it's waiting on a transformer and power delivery. Let's talk about what's different about these 3 locations. These 3 locations show what it really takes to get electrons to your EV here in Florida right now. And while this might be a Florida thing, you can bet your bippity boppity that the same thing is happening in states all over the USA right now. And what thing is that, you might ask? Well, CPOs and fuel retailers are fighting against electric companies who seem to have an unfair advantage in the charging spaces when setting up their own charging networks. Let's examine the Florida issues and what brought them. Now, what brought these changes on? Well, there was a rate increase request from Florida Power and Light and Duke Energy because of some of the losses they had taken from hurricanes. And when that rate increase was requested, they requested some of that come from retail customers. It wound up falling solely on the backs of private customers like myself. And my rates went up over 40% in a single month with Duke Energy. They went back down earlier this year, back to the rates they were before the hurricane recovery was allowed. But the complaint that was filed with the Public Service Commission from these retailers included charge point operators, EVgo and Electrify America, and fuel retailers like Circle K, Racetrack, and Wawa, along with their trade group, Americans for Affordable Clean Energy, and a large commercial customer we know as Walmart. All of these people filed testimony against Duke Energy and FPL and complained about FPL expanding its own public charging network, arguing it created unfair competition. Those same groups negotiated the final settlement terms that capped FPL Evolution's ports and raised the rates at the stations FPL already owned, again from 30 to 45 cents. And there will be more increases, up to 49 cents per kilowatt hour by 2029. And it will be 2029 before FPL can begin to expand their own network again. As a result of this, it has now been 6 months for Walmart waiting on the power to come to their station from FPL in Sanford, Florida. So there seems to be some sort of corporate brouhaha going on here between FPL and Walmart. I'm not sure what it is, but the only people that are suffering for it are we, the people, the customers. And it's a shame that it's going on. How can we solve this problem? Well, hopefully somebody from FPL or somebody from Walmart is watching this video. And if you can resolve these problems, please do, because you're not hurting each other. You're hurting the customers. And that's who you need to put your focus on. Not the power company and not the retailer, but the customer, the people who use your products. So looking ahead, both Duke Energy and FPL have limited their own public fast charging expansion through at least 2029. That means the future of convenient, reliable public charging in this state will rest almost entirely on the private charge point operators like Tesla, Walmart, IANA, EVgo, Electrify America, and the others, and on how willing the utilities are to actually connect those CPOs to the grid. For us as drivers, that can mean longer waits for new stations to come online, higher prices at some utility-owned chargers, and more dependence on private networks that are willing to fight through the delays. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens to the Tesla station there in Sanford. It was not involved in any of this mess. I think they will have their station online before Walmart, and we're just going to have to watch and see. And I hope this helps you understand what may be happening in your neck of the woods. Thanks for stopping by, and I will see you out there charging at either point A or point B. Take it easy, everybody. See you all real soon.